Welcome back, kids. At long last, it is time for Stage 8, The Brink of Death. I mean, again, we've already beaten it once, but we got the bad ending, and I can't leave a Let's Play on the bad ending. Not of a game that I actually like, that is. I mean, I'm sure I've got games on my channel that I got the bad ending that people will... Whatever. You guys understand what I'm saying, it's time to go fight Dracula. It's time to hit up the, invisible staircase again. I think there's enough points up in the staircase here. Maybe not. Maybe not quite. I guess you need 20,000 points. I was gonna say, I think there was enough points that if you were to lose to Dracula, you could get a free life by collecting all that stuff every time. But if that's not the case, then... So the Dracula fight hasn't changed since, like, the first Castlevania game. It's pretty much the same. At least this first phase is pretty much the same. He does different stuff with other forms and things, but it's usually, you know, the vampire form and then the monster form, known in some circles as the Cookie Monster, because in the original Castlevania he looked like the Cookie Monster. This is a bad position. Please jump. Thank you. If he had done fireballs there, I'm not sure I could have dodged it. I'm not sure I could have dodged the fireballs. Let's get way back here. Cool. And this time, because the ghost of Shaft is dead, there is nobody to save you this time, Dracula. Nobody to swoop down and... Like, Dracula needs to be rescued by a ghost.
I must resort to such power.
Whatever you gotta do, buddy. Alright, so he's gonna make the background dissolve. We're gonna hit him in the head a few times. We're gonna roll all the way over here, and we can use 4 dragons on him. 1, 2, nope, 3, 4. Okay, we got all 4 dragons. That's all the hearts we have access to. Now he's got a bat whip. A trick he learned from Annette, no doubt. And then fireballs, and then... that, okay. And now he starts doing just crazy moves now. Nope, there was the bat whip. I was not expecting the bat whip for some reason. Is he going to do the blood ball? Yeah, there's the blood ball, so he's going to turn into bats now. So we're going to get back in the middle here, so the bats can reconverge. One more should do it. Beautiful. Go to sleep, Dracula. I mean, Mr. Badman. Not many people know that. That's actually Count Dracula's Christian name. His given name before he was a vampire, when he was a human, was Mr. Badman. That's why he does bad things. I mean, he grew up and he's like, well, I mean, that's my name. My name's not like Joe Proctologist.
Completely
or else I'd be a butt doctor.
Beaten by a little girl?
Didn't you know? Good always wins.
Ugh, she's such a brat. That line, good always wins. She's just so full of herself.
Illusions created by the powerful.
I don't know what you mean, but I know you hurt a lot of people. No matter what you say, that's wrong.
Oh, he just needs a good scolding.
Even as the world decays,
Dracula just needs to be sent to the corner with no dinner.
In eyes like yours. Fascinating.
And that's how Richter Belmont did not save the world. And it is tradition to watch all of Castlevania crumble into nothingness every time Dracula is destroyed. He's just gonna shop around for contractors to come out and rebuild the castle anyway. And then 5 years later, the ghost of Shaft, who isn't quite dead yet, comes back to the castle and brings Richter here and makes Richter the Lord, and then Symphony of the Night happens. And we're all glad that that happened, because Symphony of the Night is an incredible game. So that's Rondo of Blood, or technically that's the remake of Rondo of Blood, Dracula X Chronicles. I think I mentioned I bought this game because I knew that Symphony of the Night was a pack-in, and I knew that that version of Symphony of the Night had Maria as a playable character. And it was really important that I get this version of Symphony of the Night because I don't know what happened to the PlayStation version I used to own way back in the 90s, and then I bought it on Xbox Live Arcade on the 360, but that controller is not very conducive to Symphony of the Night, if you get what I'm saying. That D-pad on that 360 controller, I'm pretty sure the technical term is gwabage. It's not even garbage, it's gwabage, that D-pad. So not a fan of it, but I did play a lot of Symphony of the Night on that. But the PSP has a really nice D-pad, and it has a version of the game where Maria is playable, and getting a third playable character and a D-pad that works really well really made me want to buy Dracula X Chronicles, even though I knew I wasn't gonna like Rondo of Blood. I was not interested at all in playing Rondo of Blood. I had played its, there's an SNES version of Rondo where the entire game is different, like all the levels and like bosses and stuff, a lot of it's very, very different. But I guess it's still technically like a port of Rondo of Blood for the SNES. It's called Dracula X, and I played that as a young adult, and I didn't like it. It's all the same complaints. It's the bad controls. I'm just not into how Castlevania characters control. So I bought this game, and I'm playing. I load it up, and I'm like, how do I get to Symphony? And I go online and Google, how do you open up Symphony of the Night and Dracula X Chronicles? Like, oh, you have to unlock it by going into Dracula X Chronicles and finding the little doodad. And I'm like, ah, damn it. But fortunately, I figured out how to unlock Maria pretty quickly, and then Maria is so fun to play. She doesn't have the bad control problem that Richter has. She's just fun to use. And technically, I guess she is easy mode. I mean, if you want to put it that way. I know a lot of people do put it that way. I know this because I've been spending some time reading discussions about the Rondo of Blood and Dracula X Chronicles this past week while I've been recording. But to me, it's not really easy mode and hard mode. To me, it's like normal mode and obnoxious mode. It's the same as like hard mode in a Metroid game isn't any fun to me either. Like, why play Metroid in hard mode? But in this game, it's even more of a no-brainer. Like, why play a character that doesn't control well? So if you play Rondo of Blood or Dracula X Chronicles as Maria, it's not as much memorization like an old-school Castlevania would be. You can react to everything, and the game is still brutally difficult. I mean, in some of these videos, even my failures aside, if I made it look easy, it's because I put in a lot of practice. I've been practicing this game for a little while. I wanted to make sure I put my best foot forward, especially that last stage, Shudder, that I showed you, Stage 5 Prime. That's a tricky, tricky level. So, if you're like me and you don't like the really like old school arcadey style Castlevania games, but you have access to a PSP or a PSP emulator, I do really recommend Dracula X Chronicles. It's well worth the investment. You get the version of the game I just showed you. You get Symphony of the Night. You get a bonus game mode for Symphony of the Night that's not in any other version of that game, and you get the old school version of Rondo of Blood if that's your thing. As for Richter and his little harem of maidens, even though he did absolutely nothing in the entire game, he gets to enjoy his victory. And I want to thank you all for watching. I've been Brickroad. This has been Castlevania. I'll see you next time. Shoutouts to Nourish'em for sponsoring this video, and to everybody who helps make my channel possible by supporting me on Patreon.